Hello Underdogger, it's your boy Underdog Recapped. Before we start, warning, spoilers ahead. Today, we are going to recap an American comedy film released in 2009, called Zombieland. A young man becomes a survivor after the whole country turns into a zombie land. He has his own set of rules to survive from the zombies and keeps moving from place to place until he meets with the other survivors. How about their adventure to beat the zombies? Will they finally find a safe place to live? Let's find out together, in a doggy-styled recap. All of the cities in America have been ravaged by the unknown zombie plague. It only takes 2 months to turn everyone in the cities into zombies, except for one young man. He can survive this far because he lives far from his family and has no friends to attack him. Also, he has his own set of rules on how to fight zombies, such as 1. Do cardio, so he can avoid zombies. 2. Double fire, to make sure the zombies really die. 3. Fasten your seat belt while driving, so you don't get thrown from the car when you hit something. He is on his journey from Texas to meet his parents in Ohio. On the way, he passes a road where a lot of vehicles are strewn about. This situation makes him miss seeing people before they all became zombies, despite being antisocial. Suddenly, he sees a car passing by and quickly hides with a gun. An older man wearing a hat gets out of the car. They both point guns. The young man looks a little hesitant and scared, until finally he gives a thumbs up as a sign of asking for a ride. Luckily, the older man lets him join the ride. When he enters, the young man immediately looks into the back seat. It's his rule to check the back seat to make sure there aren't any zombies on board. Then, the older man says that he isn't friendly, so he isn't willing to tell him his name to keep their relationship from getting too close. The young man agrees and explains that he is going to Columbus, while the older man will head to Tallahassee, where both cities are in the east. Those names of the two destination cities which will eventually become their nicknames to call each other. Columbus is relieved and feels safe with Tallahassee. Despite his age, Tallahassee loves Twinkie, his favorite food. He is even willing to stop by every time he sees a glimpse of the snack. One time, Columbus has to go to the bathroom. He enters the bathroom warily with a gun and checks the bathrooms one by one. In the bathroom, he makes a dialogue with himself about himself, including his greatest fear over zombies, a clown zombie. He also says that he always wants to have a relationship with a woman and introduces her to his parents. His memory flashes back to the first time his apartment neighbors suddenly knocked on his door for help. He invited her sexy neighbor to enter his apartment because she looked very scared. He tried to calm her down and she told him about what had happened. She said that a madman chased and wanted to bite her. The woman was exhausted and ended up sleeping on his shoulder. He might think that his love story had just begun. However, who would have thought that the next day, the woman had turned into a zombie and he had to kill her, pretty much summing up a one-night tragic romantic story. After the quick break, they continue their journey and try to set the mood by talking, which makes their bond even stronger. However, they are stopped by a zombie who is eating a corpse in the middle of the road. Without hesitation, Tallahassee drives and hits the zombie with the car door. Columbus is impressed by Tallahassee's obsession with killing zombies. Of course, he hasn't forgotten Tallahassee's other obsession with Twinkies, which lead them to stop at a supermarket. He directly goes to the trunk to pick up various weapons, enters the supermarket, and deliberately plays the guitar to lure the zombies hiding in the supermarket. After they appear, Tallahassee goes into action to kill them one by one without any hesitation. All that he did is for a box of Twinkies which he thought would soon be extinct from this world because of the zombie plague. For him, Twinkie is the only thing that can remind him of his life before this plague. A girl suddenly appears from the storeroom door and asks them to follow her. Columbus, with his wandering mind, thinks that it's another chance for him to have a relationship again. It turns out that she's with his sister, who's infected with the zombie virus. Their names are Wichita, the older sister, and Little Rock, the little sister. Wichita explains that her sister asks him to kill her. Columbus immediately refuses and Tallahassee is confused by the situation. Little Rock keeps forcing them to kill her and tells Tallahassee to do it. As he's about to shoot, Wichita asks Tallahassee to hand over the gun as she will do it herself. The sisters do their goodbyes dramatically. Until finally they both end their drama with Wichita pointing a gun at Tallahassee and Little Rock taking the gun from him. They also ask for their car key and leave Columbus and Tallahassee. Yes, that's right, they were only fooling the men to get weapons and vehicles to continue their journey to Pacific Playland, a paradise said to be free of zombies. Reluctantly, Columbus and Tallahassee continue their journey on foot, hoping to find a replacement for their confiscated car. Along the way, they keep exchanging stories about their respective experiences. Until finally, Columbus finds a stranded van on the side of the road. Instead of taking it away, Tallahassee smashes all of the car's windows as the release for his frustration. Satisfied, they walk again and feel lucky as there is an abandoned yellow Hummer car not far. All that's left in the car are 2 hands of the owner on the steering wheel and a full armor on the back seat. Tallahassee celebrates this by drawing the number 3 on the car, as he did on his previous car, as a sign of ownership. As they continue searching for a new home, Tallahassee says that for him, his home is where a puppy named Buck was with him and spent his days. However, this zombie plague has made him gone. From then on, Tallahassee tries to enjoy the little things. Hearing this, Columbus is amazed and adds it to his list of rule number 32, enjoy little things. Not long after, they find the car that the sisters had previously stolen, which seems to be breaking down. Learning from his mistake, Tallahassee instructs Columbus to stay in the car and gets down to check on it. When the car looks empty, Tallahassee gives Columbus a hand signal to approach. As he enters, he notices Columbus's odd behavior and can tell that one of the sisters is in the backseat. Little Rock appears and immediately points a gun which was also snatched from Tallahassee earlier. Then, she tells Columbus to honk and Wichita emerges from behind the haystack. Once more, they fall right into the sisters' trap. The journey continues with Wichita driving the car with Columbus next to him. Tallahassee and Little Rock are in the back seat with the gun still pointed at him. Nonetheless, it seems that Columbus likes Wichita and enjoys the moment instead. Then, Columbus asks Wichita about his city. Wichita says that the city had become a ghost town razed to the ground. Hearing this, Tallahassee pokes Wichita to be more considerate with her answer, as Columbus might have lost his family. Without knowing it beforehand, Wichita apologizes and tries to calm him down. She is even willing to help him find another car if he still wants to check the condition of the city. Feeling the lack of closeness between him and his family before, he feels the need to find a new home, which he seems to have found when he met Wichita. Finally, he gives up the intention of traveling alone to Columbus and decides to travel with the others. Feeling tired, they decide to stop at one of the abandoned souvenir shops. They go inside to have a look. Columbus tries the perfume there. Knowing his action, Tallahassee finds out that he likes Wichita and then teases him. Columbus looks embarrassed and attacks Tallahassee by spraying the perfume. They both have a small fight and Columbus accidentally breaks the vase behind him. Tallahassee tells him to break another item. After a while, everyone follows what the two of them are doing because they think it's fun. They break all the things in the shop, then leave. They continue the journey by taking turns driving day and night until they arrive in the Hollywood area. After finding a map, Tallahassee says that they're going to visit the house of one of the Class A celebrities. Apart from him, no one knows where they are about to go. After they enter the house, Tallahassee tells them it's Bill Murray's residence. They all look amazed, except for Little Rock, who doesn't know who Bill Murray is. Despite the excitement, Tallahassee feels very disappointed as he can't find any Twinkie there. To separate them, Columbus finally divides the members into 2 groups to check around. Columbus and Little Rock find a movie theater and decide to watch a Bill Murray movie. Meanwhile, Tallahassee and Wichita enter the room and they relax while playing mini golf. Unbeknownst to them, someone is still living in the house and walks towards the room. While Wichita is playing golf, the ball she hits is thrown into Tallahassee's head and he falls. Suddenly, a zombie-like person is about to attack him, before finally being stopped by Wichita, by hitting a golf stick on his waist. The person immediately screams and startles them both because zombies don't scream when they're hit. Tallahassee realizes that it's Bill Murray himself, disguised as a zombie to mingle with the other zombies. Tallahassee is delighted that among the survivors, one of them is Bill Murray, his favorite actor. Still in the mini theater, Columbus asks Little Rock about Wichita's status, like is she single? What type of guy does she like? And Little Rock answers him very unenthusiastically. On the other hand, Tallahassee wants to surprise Columbus that Bill Murray's still alive. Bill Murray enters the room acting like a zombie. Columbus is surprised and immediately shoots him. Tallahassee is saddened that his time with Murray is short as he's about to die. They also perform a small ceremony for his death by firing several shots into the sky and then dropping him down. In the evening, they all gather to play games and tell stories. Tallahassee recounts Buck, which Columbus finally realizes that is not his dog, but his son. This made the atmosphere even more emotional that Tallahassee bursts into tears and wipes it with a few bills in his hand. After that, Tallahassee continues his activities by practicing his shooting and Little Rock follows him as well. Separately, Columbus and Wichita drink some wine and have moments together. They tell each other about their stuff until finally they say that they like each other. Unfortunately, Their romantic moment is ruined by Tallahassee, who suddenly enters to ask for help. Columbus really thinks that his relationship would last until the next morning. However, when he realizes that the sisters have gone to the Pacific Playland, he looks disappointed. Tallahassee tries to calm him down and tells him he's going to Mexico to look for Twinkie. After some driving, the sisters arrive at Pacific Playland. They turn on the power source until all the lights and rides turn on. They play happily without realizing that the hiding zombies are walking towards them due to the spotlight. When they realize that the zombies are under them, they decide to destroy the engine box to stop the ride. On the other hand, Tallahassee cancels their trip to go to Mexico and decides to help Columbus catch up with Wichita. When they arrive, Tallahassee tells him to save the sisters while he is the bait for the zombies. He seems to enjoy the action against all the zombies alone. When Columbus is about to save them, a zombie wearing a clown costume appears in front of him. However, for Wichita's sake, he manages to fight off his greatest fear. Wichita immediately hugs him and tells her real name, Krista. Columbus is overjoyed that at least he could reunite with her and kiss her. Wichita asks about Tallahassee's whereabouts, which Columbus can immediately guess that he must be looking for some Twinkies. And sure enough, he's in the supermarket. However, the Twinkies he had found had been destroyed by the gunfire. Suddenly, Columbus hears the sound of a speeding car engine and immediately goes outside. Wichita and Little Rock are already in the car and ready to leave. But of course, they won't abandon those who've saved their life this time. Little Rock from the top of the car throws a Twinkie at Tallahassee. He is very touched and happy to eat it. The story ends when they decide to live together and start a new life with a new family. Home is not always about where we live, but it can be about gathering with people we love and trust, even though to make that relationship takes effort and obstacles that must be overcome. However, if you were in their shoes, could you live with people you've never met before and would trust them for nothing? Let us know what you think in the comment below. Don't forget to subscribe, and see you in our next recap.